Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching. DutyRon checking in with another video, and today we're going to talk about this advisement hearing this morning that was held in Salida County Court for Barry Morphew. Guys, I am a retired New York City police detective with 20 plus years of law enforcement. If you like all things true crime from a police perspective, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, give it a thumbs up, and share it out onto your social media platform. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. Hello, Annie. Annie's Pilates and Physical Therapy. Crystal Harmony, good to see you. Thank you for joining. Hello, Dawn Marie. Black Rose, EMT 623. Mimi J2, great to see you. Alley Cat, hi. Hi, guys. Fuzzy Doxy, love and respect. Hi, Parmadari, thank you. Blue Phoenix. Guys, thank you for joining. So I'm going to make it quick. I'll make it to the point, and I'll be clear and concise with this. I know that you guys have had a whole overload of, all the different people talking about this case, but I'm going to give it to you quickly because I did speak about this last night with attorney Joe Murray and first grade homicide detective Phil Grimaldi. I had those two panelists on my live stream last night, and we did go over some of the predictions of what would happen here today, and they did come to fruition. As we know, Barry Morphew is charged with first-degree murder of Suzanne Morphew under Colorado statute. That's a capital crime. He is also charged with tampering with evidence and influence of a public official. The hearing today, as we predicted, there is no bail or bond. It's a severe charge. There is no good reason to give somebody bail on a case like this. The hearing basically was very routine. It was a very routine case. It was something that is afforded to everybody who's arrested under capital punishment in the state of Colorado. It's an advisement hearing where the judge tells the defendant exactly what he's being charged with, tells him of his charges, advises him of his rights, and then appoints a public defender. Now, everybody is saying to themselves, wait a minute, Barry Morphew's got a lot of money. He was able to put up a $100,000 bail, a $100,000 reward for the disappearance of his wife, the alleged disappearance of his wife, and then his friend matched it. Everybody's saying to themselves, wait a minute, this guy's got money. How is he afforded a public defender? When you're arrested and you are brought in like that, and you don't have time to get someone from the legal field to hire a lawyer, so to speak, the judge and the courts automatically appoint just for that preliminary hearing, so he has representation. In other words, if there wasn't a legal representative there, Barry could say that hearing took place without legal representation, and therefore it was not he could argue down the road that he wasn't afforded his constitutional rights. So let me look back. Fuzzy Doxy sends in a $5 super chat. Did they say a judge or jury could rule on this? The judge told him that he could either opt for a jury trial or a bench trial. So that's the choice of the defendant. And the defendant makes that choice based on his counsel. I hope I answered that question, Fuzzy Doxy. So again, they will look into his finances. I've been on many trials, and I've sat in on many cases where there is a public defender assigned, and it's just assigned for that hearing. And then if the person is deemed able to afford private counsel, he will be required to hire private counsel. And the court does an investigation. The court looks into the person's finances. So, everything, Michelle Grandy, everything is being done to the letter of the law. They're dotting their I's and crossing their T's here. So at the end of the day, nothing is going to be done that isn't correct. So the judge and all that are involved are going to do everything right down to the T. Nikki, thank you for the $5 super chat. She says, justice for Suzanne. Thank you for the super love. I appreciate that. Hello, Cassidy. Good to see you guys. Let me know where you're watching, your city and state, or your country, and I'll say hello to you guys real quick. Let's do a roll call before we get any further into this. I have a little audio media that I'll play for you from a legal correspondent, and he'll break it down a little bit better. Hello from Colorado. Hello from Australia. Texas chiming in. Topeka, Kansas. Washington State. Chicago, Illinois. California. Good to see you. Phoenix, Arizona. Houston, Texas. Hello. It's going fast. Marion, Indiana. Northwest Ohio. Thank you, 12-Step Woman. Thank you. Alabama, Louisiana. Good to see you. Carol Loving in Alaska, over in Ohio. Idaho, thank you. Mississippi. UK. Colleen, Texas. Hello, Pamela. Good to see you. Thank you. Okay, we got some people from Canada. We got down the block. Good to see you. Boise, Idaho. Thank you for joining. Love and respect from my house to yours. Justice for Suzanne Morphew. That's what we're all here for. We have to trust the process. Hello from Buffalo, Jerusalem, Israel. Good to see you from Israel. Love and respect. Hello from Scotland. Great folks over there in Scotland. So let's all put in prayer emojis and hearts for Suzanne. And also don't forget to use the hashtag. Don't forget to use the hashtag for Suzanne. Okay. This is important to send out the message and get out our message for Suzanne Morphew, and we're behind her and her whole family. We want to see justice being served. Thank you for that, Streamlabs. Thank you for that, Princess Michelle. Beth, thank you. All right. So I'm going to play a little media for you, a little bit of audio, and this is going to be a correspondent. Thank you for the super chat. Mimi J2 says, DutyRon, what happens to the reward and GoFundMe monies? Those are all private, and it's not controlled by anybody. Texas Lassie, thank you so much for the super love. She's here checking in. Good to see you. That's my good friend down in Texas. Thank you for joining, Texas Lassie. Always great to see you. Love and respect to you and the hubby. The GoFundMe reward money, that's private, and it can't be controlled by law enforcement or by the court. So whoever has control of that they could do whatever they want with it. All right, let's get into this here so you guys can hear. I'm going to take the mic off, and you guys let me know in the chat if the audio is good. All right, this is going to be a legal correspondent breaking down the court hearing from today.
To what an advisement is.
Sure, Alex. It's a pleasure to be with you. So anytime a criminal defendant is arrested, they are brought before...
Let me know about the sound.
A general advisement of why they have been arrested, what their rights are, and for the setting of the judicial process to be initiated. What happened this morning in Chaffee County District Court is what happens virtually in every case where someone is arrested and initially held without bond until a bond is set. They're brought before a judicial officer. That judicial officer tells them the reason why they have been arrested, that they have certain rights, including the right to remain silent, the right to counsel, and ultimately the right to bond, unless the court finds in a capital case that the proof is evident and the presumption of conviction is great, in which case they can hold a defendant without bail pending a trial. But today's hearing really was the very, very first step, just designed to advise Mr. Morphew exactly what you just advised your listeners, that there has been an arrest made and that he is the focus of a pending investigation, which will lead to charges in the coming days.
And we know that Barry Morphew formally requested a public defender. What exactly do we know about his representation, Chris?
Well, all we know is that if you're in custody, you are presumed to be eligible for a public defender. And so it is very common that someone would be arrested on a high-profile case like this would get the assistance of a public defender, at least initially. Whether or not Mr. Morphew has funds to hire a private attorney of his own choosing has yet to be determined. But it is not uncommon that the public defender would do this first stage, which is the initial advisement.
Now, Chris, one thing that stood out to me, the judge issuing a civil protection order so that Mr. Morphew can have contact with his two daughters. Can you explain exactly what that legally means and what happens if you violate that type of an order?
Sure. In every criminal case, there's a mandatory protection order issued under Colorado Revised Statute CRS 18-1-1001. That restraining order restricts and prohibits any criminal defendant from harassing, intimidating, annoying, or alarming any victim or witness of the case in which they're charged. So that protection order is a mandatory protection order issued in every criminal case. And in this case, the judge did not bar Mr. Morphew from any contact with his children, but limited the restrictions of that protection order to the intimidating, harassing, annoying, or alarming. That's somewhat unique. It seems to indicate to me, perhaps, that his daughters wish to have contact with him. Draw whatever conclusion one might from that. But if someone violates a mandatory protection order, that is a criminal act and can be prosecuted separately as a violation of protection order misdemeanor violation.
And again, our legal analyst, Chris Decker, joining us right here on Fox 31 now. I know that this was just his advisement, and Chris, you told me that you don't necessarily need to enter a plea at an advisement hearing. He's going to be back in court on May 27th, so what happens next?
Well, what happens is the formal filing of the charges. So it may not be common knowledge, but when people are arrested, it does not actually mean that the charges are automatically filed at the time of the arrest. There's a certain period of time statutorily that the prosecution has to bring those charges. And so I would expect in the next 2 or 3 days, perhaps a little bit more time for a more complex case, the district attorney in Chaffee County will file her criminal complaint and information formally charging Mr. Morphew. So that has not occurred. The next step is those formal charges, and the court has set a return date to set the next stage, which will be the preliminary hearing and a bond hearing to determine whether or not he should be held without bond.
Wonderful. Again, our legal analyst, Chris Decker, joining us here on Fox 31 now. Chris, thank you.
Okay, so basically, the indictment, the grand jury, the actual true bill indictment, that's forthcoming. Here in New York, we have a certain amount of time. It's 4 days. So when you get arrested here in New York, the district attorney has 4 days to bring the charges before a grand jury. It looks like in Colorado, there's a little bit more time that's given because it is such a big case. So they're giving a little extra time. But that's the next step, is that the formal charges will be filed, and they will bring it before a grand jury to get a true bill indictment. That does not change in the laws and the process throughout the United States. So that is what's going to happen. Then after that, there will be this bond hearing. This was not a bond hearing today. It was just saying he's not offered bail. But they're going to argue, his attorneys, if it's private or it's still the public defender, something's telling me that he is going to have to hire his own attorney, because if they look at his assets, if they're not frozen, and we don't know if they're frozen, we're all just speculating on his assets being frozen. But if his assets aren't frozen, he's got assets from the sales of the homes and all the liquidation that he's been doing. So he is going to probably be shown, because he owns his own business and makes his own money, that he can afford to hire his own private counsel. And the judge can and will order him, he'll give him a certain amount of time to hire private counsel. I've seen it done. Only reason I'm saying it is I've seen it done, where people say, I can't afford it. They do a research and they see their history and they look at their assets and they say, oh, no, Mr. Morphew, you can afford this attorney. You're going to have to go out and hire an attorney. And that's what's going to happen. I have a feeling that is what will happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't matter. The case is still going to go forward. And, the order of protection, from what this legal analyst said, that's standard. There's nothing really completely over the top with that. That's basically just saying that this defendant, Barry Morphew, who's charged with murder, cannot harass or annoy his daughters or anybody that comes to visit him, that comes to visit in prison. Well, he's being held in jail right now. He's not in prison. He's in jail. So at the end of the day, folks, that's what we have with this hearing. That is the 411 and lowdown on what is going on. I got to just say, for me, I think it's important that we all understand this is the process. The district attorney, they wrote up the complaint. They saw the evidence that was collected by the detectives and all the investigators. The district attorney doesn't make the arrests. They just sign off on all the evidence and all of the stuff that's done by the detectives and by the all of the investigating sources. So everyone that's involved, the CBI, the FBI, the Chaffee County Sheriffs, they all get together and they present their case to the district attorney. The district attorney looks at it and says, okay, we got enough to charge, we got enough to arrest. Go out and arrest. And that's what happened. Could the girls get the assets frozen so they aren't without monies? Gulf Coast girl, the assets are all personal. It's not anything to do with criminal. So the assets will have to be all go through whatever legal process that is to ascertain and obtain those funds. They have to ascertain who has the legal rights to the funds, and then everything is going to be done on the up and up. It's not going to be like, here, girls, take 100,000. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. So what led to his arrest was substantial, overwhelming evidence that pins him into the murder or disappearance of Suzanne Morphew. They wouldn't just go out and arrest him based on just nonsense. It's got to be strong evidence. And I believe that the district attorney, as we heard, Miss Linda at the district attorney's office said in no uncertain terms, we had overwhelming amount of evidence, and she had every bit of confidence that he will be indicted and convicted at trial, if it goes to a trial, of these charges. So, guys, if you're not yet subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon. Please subscribe and follow me here on YouTube. Follow me on all things social media, all one word, DutyRon, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Check out my Discord group and go over to DutyRon.com. Thank you, everyone, for being a channel member. Thank you for all the moderators and my replay viewers. I love the replay viewers. Thank you. And thank you to all my live viewers all across the globe. We have people from Scotland, the UK, Australia, Israel today. We have people from South Africa. So much love and respect from my house to yours. Guys, if you like this type of setup where I'm giving you these updates, let me know down below in the comments section so we can continue to have a conversation after the live stream is over. And as I always like to end these live streams, God bless the world, God bless the United States of America, and God bless each and every one of us here in the chat and all victims of crime across the United States, across the world, and their families. We pray. Andy, Mormon, the whole family, the girls, we send you love, strength, and respect. So God bless you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace from New York. Thank you.